Hello everyone, this is Bowen Mao, and I'm work with the Asis. Is my team member. Today I'm going to talk about the money market, and my team member Asis will talk about the capital market. Today for the money market, I will start from Australia Treasury notes. Then we will talk about the bank assessable bills. After that, I will talk about negotiable certificates of deposits, which means NCDs. And after that, I will talk about the commercial paper. In addition, I will talk about the money market managed funds. And after that, I will talk about the customer credit card, which include the credit card and debit. For instruction, that kind of title, and I will follow that orders. Firstly, I will talk about description. After that, I will talk about the major participant. And after that, I will talk about level of risk and the original maturity and interest of risk. The first one, which is called to Australian Treasury notes. For the description, Australia Treasury notes is the short-term discount security, redeemable at the face value on maturity. The terms are less than 12 months. For the participation, Treasury notes are issued to assist with Australia government's short-term funding requirement. Treasury notes are quoted to the trade on the year to maturity based rather than on price basis. For the rate, which is 1 year around 0.257, and the risk is low. We move on for next one for bank bills. The bank's bills is a bill of exchange as defined by Bills of Exchange 1909. A bill exchange is the bank accept for responsibility for part payment and specific amount to unlimited holder of bank bills. For the rate, Australia Bank accepts bills rate monthly average is around 90 days, was reported by 0.1% in 2002 and June. The major participant is from the bank, and the risk is low. The maturity is from monthly average, like I mentioned, around 90 days or something. And after that, I'm going to talk about negotiable certificate of deposit. For description, it means for the issued electronically in large demolitions and cycle through the Australia Clear. A negotiable certificate of the deposit, which means NCD, are issued by banks and available to be traded in secondary market. So each NCD is issued for a specific term, in general 6 months or less than 6 months. However, the maturity may extend to 1 year. The rate is around 100%. The risk is low. After that, I will talk about commercial paper. Commercial paper is commonly used for the type of secured short-term debit instrument issued by corporations, typical use for financing of payroll. So account payable and interment and meeting other short-term liabilities. For maturity is around commercial papers types last several days. So its real range less than 207 days. So commercial paper is usually used at discount form for face value and reflects prevailing market interest rates. So in fact, for the interest rate, there would be a 0.1 million interest payment up to maturity of the commercial paper in exchange for the 10 million in cash, which means equation to an interest rate 1%. So the low risk as well. Next one, I'm going to talk about the money market managed fund. So the money market managed fund means managed investment scheme, which investment objective of capital preservation and yield generations. They achieve these objectives by investing and in diversified portfolio of high quality, low duration monies market instruments. So before cost and tax is around 3 to 4%, which is higher than the rate of the term of deposit, and the risk level is low to medium. And after that, we will talk about the customer credit, which include credit card and debit. For description, the customer credit card is a personal debit to taken on purchased goods and services. And the credit card is one form of customer credit. It is not usually used to describe the purchase for a house, for example, which is considered a long-term investment, and it is usually purchased with a security mortgage law. So the average annual participation rate on new offers of the credit cards was 19.24%. So today I'm talking about the treasury notes and bank bills, and also talk about negotiable certificates of deposit and the commercial paper, and also talk about the money market manager fund, and also talk about credit card. Next article will talk about next step. Thank you very much.
Hello everyone, my name is Assis. Me and Bone work in the group together to find out the other investing and financial options available on the market. Since Bone spoke about the money market, I'm going to present the capital market available to us. The first one is Australian Treasury bond, which are the long-term and medium-term debt security that carries an annual rate of interest fixed over the life of the security, payable semi-annually, which are quoted and traded on yield basis to maturity basis rather than on price basis. These are issued by the Australian government to bank, managed funds, businesses, individuals and foreign countries. Talking about the risks, there are no default risks, but price will decline if interest rate rises. Original maturities are between 2 to 20 years. The interest rate is from 1.99% for less than 1 year to 2.78% for 10 years and 3.35% for 22 years. The second option is mortgage, which is a debt instrument secured by the collateral of a specified real estate property that a borrower is obliged to pay back with a predetermined set of payments. It generally involves borrowing from commercial banks, building societies and credit unions by individuals, and generally risk is pretty low because it's mortgage over property. But some non-conforming loans where borrower doesn't meet the standard lending criteria, and high risk borrower can risk pretty more than what it normally risks. It can have a maturity up to 30 years. Interest rate is from 4.5% to 5% for 5 years fixed rate, or 4.0%, that is 4%, to 4.5% for standard variable rates. Third option is semi-governmental bonds, also known as state and local government bonds, and are generally issued by state and local governments to individuals, institutional investors and foreign countries. They are generally riskier than Australian government securities, with the level of risk dependent upon the issuer. The maturity for this could be up to 30 years, same as the mortgage, and interest rates are generally higher than treasury bonds of the same maturity. And the final option for the capital debt is corporate bonds, which is a type of debt security again, and that is generally issued by a firm and sold to the investors, where a company gets the capital it needs, and in return the investor is paid a pre-established number of interest payments at either a fixed or variable interest rate. And this is issued by corporations to individuals and institutional investors. Risk is dependent upon the financial strength of the issuer, generally riskier than the Australian government securities, but less risky than preferences and ordinary shares. The Australian corporate bond market is underdeveloped, with most firms issuing bonds into international markets, and reliable data on maturity dates and interest rate are not available at the moment. So these were the financial instruments that we came up with. Thank you.